It is day 3 of Designing Live with the lovely Sarah Raj.
Yay!
And you've got me, Lindsay Monroe. I work on the XD Social the last 2 days. And today we will be refining, prototyping.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing refining all of what we have, all of the visual language, get everything in, and then towards the end we're gonna prototype and then see how, I'm very excited to test fixed elements, and then if we can really quickly mock up overlays, I think that'll be great as well. But I'm very excited for today. We're gonna wrap it up. So yeah.
I know, it's our last day. Well, at least for this stream. There's always lots of great Adobe Live content going on. We got folks in the chat. We're looking forward to talking to you. It's a good time to ask questions about XD, ask questions for Sarah about who she is, what she works on, anything about UX, UI.
Ask a lot of questions. Yeah, I'm here to answer you guys.
Favorite ice cream flavor? I don't know. Get creative, people. As always, we have a chat and win 30 minutes in. Do you like the rhyme? Did you like that? Chat to win 30 minutes in. Anyway, I'm like, poet, didn't even know it. Looks like we even got a logo update. Mark, thanks for coming back and hitting us with the logo. We're going to dive into that in just a minute, though. Where are you guys all tuning in from?
Yeah, I'm always like interested to know where people are tuning in from, what city or country. Also, I'm very curious to know like what languages do you guys talk to? Like, that'll be cool to hear that as well. So, yeah.
Cool. So we also have, we're here in San Francisco at one of the Adobe offices. We got offices and places all over. And then we also, Sarah, you're visiting here from LA, yeah?
Yes. So I work in LA, and then I'm visiting San Francisco. But I am familiar with San Francisco because I went to grad school here, so pretty familiar. Cool. Grad school is actually 2 blocks down from Adobe office, so which is always cool.
You feel it's like your turf a little bit. Yeah.
It's like home always.
What do you do when you're not streaming on Adobe Live?
Let's see. When I'm not streaming on Adobe, so I really am passionate about design. So even when I'm not working, I'm actually working, which is funny, but it's because I'm so passionate and I love what I do. I do also a lot of consulting and a lot of freelance work. Apart from that,
design all day, all night.
All day, all night, every day, which is great. But then I like to go on hikes. LA has a lot of hikes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so do that as well.
Better than driving in LA.
That's true.
Yes. Tell us about grad school. What'd you do there?
So I went to the California College of the Arts. I did MFA in design. It's a transdisciplinary program where you get to learn product and interaction, graphic design, and which is where I actually fell in love with user interface and the entire process of design research. How do we implement research findings and then build it out? So it was more about like understanding the thinking behind the strategies. How do you, from a business standpoint, how do you implement it from a product standpoint? So it was a lot of different facets of design itself.
Well, if you've been tuning in the last 2 days, you probably already have figured out this one's brilliant. But if you weren't, now you know. So tell us a little bit about the concept of the app that we have been working on. I say we've been working on. I've mostly
we've been working.
Sure. I'll take all the credit for that. But no,
it's a collaborative
really,
process.
I've been helping collect your feedback from the chat and passing it on to Sarah. So tell us about this.
So what we've been working on for the last couple of days is that this is a app catered towards pregnant women, and it's a part of a larger ecosystem, but we're working on one section of it where it's more about nutrition and how sort of like breaking down into what period of, or what, like walking people through their pregnancy and what week they're on, and then catering food and then nutritional values and adding that into the recipe as well. So we're educating as well as having healthy tips in there. So we've been going in and doing a lot of sort of collecting, recipes and then nutrients and then whether or not you can eat. So it's also informational. So,
because like apparently pregnant ladies, they got to navigate this food nutrition system in precarious ways. So not only do you want to make sure you're eating the right things, but also avoiding the things you shouldn't be. So this app it sounds like it covers it all.
Yeah.
And tells you how to cook. Well, it doesn't tell you how to cook. Gives you some helpful recipes and tips. So really great. Awesome. So we've got someone watching from Earth. Apparently it's a recommended destination. Thank you, George, or B. George. Glad you could join us here on Terra. We also have someone from St. Paul and Minnesota and Virginia, Missouri.
Oh, there's somebody from Maryland. I was born in Maryland.
We have a lot of Americans on the stream today. And normally we've got folks from all over. Is our friend from Brazil on here? Anyone?
Anybody from Brazil?
Do we have any Canadians other than myself kicking around? Ohioan. How do you say that? Ohioans? It's almost like onions, but with an H. Ohioans.
I like the hee.
Yeah, that's good.
Ukraine.
Okay, there we go. Now it's getting a little bit more international up in here.
Yeah.
Awesome. So today we've got our app concept, and you guys are up to speed on that. Do you want to do a full zoom out of the screens?
I forgot where we're streaming. But there's actually Kayo. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing your name right, but have we decided and defined the name of the app?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get into that. Should we?
I think we should just commit.
Right?
So what is the app name? We had some help.
We had some help. Should we pull it up or should I just say it? How do we want to?
You just give it. Just tell them.
All right. So we've decided to go. Everybody already knows. So we've decided to go with Nama. I forget who came up with the idea.
I know we are like awful at attribution here. I apologize. That's something like I generally like. As someone who works at Adobe in this world, attribution is very important. So. Let's just like send a huge thank you out to the Adobe Live community on that one. One of you brilliant folks threw it out there, and thank you for that.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with Nama, and then we've also decided on the logo, which Lindsay is gonna be showing us in a little bit. But to go over what we worked on yesterday is that. Real quick, we went in and filled in imagery and allotted like the nutrients and building out the different sort of components, and then having, let me actually pull up this file for you guys. All right. So daily recipes, and then it tells you what week you're on and more information, and then after which it also recommends daily recipes, so it's like divided into cold dishes versus hot dishes and having it more defined and structured in that way. And then each recipe gives you also sort of like the nutrient value, so if it has like a lot of magnesium or carbohydrates, there is a visual aid and a reference point. And also we see how many minutes it takes to cook. A lot of it is that I was telling Lindsay yesterday that a lot of my decisions are, while looking at a sort of recipe, is how many minutes it takes, and like a lot of people make decisions based on that as well. So we're adding that in.
Yeah, because we also talked about it's like Sundays, you got time.
Yeah.
You can like cook a big meal, but on a day-to-day, you just want something healthy, fast, easy to make, right?
Good to go, yeah.
I know. Drop your favorite go-to recipe in the chat. We're curious to see. Yeah. We talked a little bit about it.
Voodoo Val is like, I'm hungry
for healthy food. So we're good. It's like, it could be worse, right? We're not showing like potato chip flavors up here or anything like that. Cool.
Jeremy says, too late to submit my logo mock-up.
No, it's not. I'm actually like currently
go in and sub it.
Trying to grab links from the chat here so we can show those in just a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have logo remixes for Nama, feel free to jump in there. I also saw we do have our Torontonian on the feed, so holla. We also have, so Nama. Nama has two M's when you're doing it, so Nomma.
Yeah.
Nama.
Nama,
Mama. But anyway,
cool. And then to go over, so nutrients, we went and filled in, the different kind of nutrients, and then prenatal vitamins as well. And then say if we were to click on protein, which we're also going to prototype at the very end, so we can like go through interactions and have it more defined. But when we click on proteins or any of the nutrient, it kind of gives the breakdown of like, you know, what is the importance of that particular nutrient and how you benefit, or how the kid and the mother benefits during their pregnancy time. And then we do have recipe classifications. So I went in and added a little minute sort of visual aid to, so
look how pretty these images are.
So we have to go fill in names, but hypothetically, if we were to click on salmon, it's going to pull up all of the recipes that are that have salmon in them. But for as placeholder images, we have, I think, kale salad with squash, I believe, or salmon. But we're gonna go in and swap out these images and then fine tune the language here. And then when you click on, say, one recipe you like, you're going to see in depth of like how many servings you can have, and then how many, the cooking time and the prep time as well. And it goes down and breaks down into ingredients and also how to prep your meal. And the last tab is more about can I eat, so it's informational, whether or not it's going to be benefiting for you. Is it, you know, it gives you more context of to like 9 weeks in, 12 weeks in. There's a lot of different, during the span of pregnancy, there is a lot of things that you eat certain, you know, between like 1 and 3 months, 3 and 6 months. So it has like
your trimesters. There's like different foods that, or nutrient values.
Nutrient values, yeah.
See, I feel like I'm learning so much here. It's so crazy. All right, so we have a couple of logos. Do we want to look at what we've got, or how are we doing? Do we want to go through the remaining screens first?
I think, yeah. So as you guys are, I don't know, actually, what would be the best suggestion?
We're starting to get to a point where we need to fill out some of these sections. So we have the names, so we can definitely
swap it out. So I do have it set up in such a way that, you know, as we finalize the logo and the name, it's going to go in there. But I've done like initial sort of setup where we're doing onboarding screen. I went and filled in content, and we can circle back and then fine tune the aesthetics of it. For right now, I have placeholders. We can work with that. And then we're going to go make, and then try to create the flow. So when we're prototyping, we can go from, you know, A to Z and then the entire span of it.
Got it. We got some onboarding going on there.
But for right now, I think I'm going to go and build in the Can I Eat section and also more informational. So as we're waiting on logos and the name,
we're good on the name.
We're good on the name.
Nama,
so the
Nama. And we've got colors figured out. We all kind of agreed on those yesterday. In fact, on the color note, we did have a question. We've got some fans of that beautiful gradient that you've developed. I like to call it like a soft sunrise, a peachy sunrise, because it's like the pink and orange. It's beautiful. So Bertrand wants to know, like, if you have any advice for creating gradients, like how do you navigate that?
So a lot of it is that, let's see if we can actually create, how I go about creating gradients is that doing a lot of research and understanding, let's actually go closer, and understanding who your audience is and what you're creating for, and then being able to test out different gradients and colors. And also it's also important to test the color on your mobile as well, because we spoke about this yesterday, how what we did when we design on desktop, it translates a little different when we are on mobile. So being able to sort of understand you know, the color transition and the type size and all of it is like a huge decision point as well when we're building our product.
Yeah, important things.
So for example, let's quickly, you know, make some colors.
So you start by selecting a couple of colors.
Yeah, just like selecting a bunch of.
This is looking awfully festive. I love it.
Let's get a yellow in here, actually. Let's get some.
So you're just picking sort of complementary colors? Is that to start, like things that you're like, these will look good together?
Yeah.
And that's just based on experience?
Yeah, so just like going in, or like there's also other sort of websites that gives you a array of palettes or defines, you know, what are the 5 different colors that go together, which is also a great way when you're trying to decide on color palette as well. But
cool.
I'm also interested in, you know, what other people, like, what are your reference points, or where do you derive your inspiration from for colors as well? So go place that in your chat. I'm curious to know, how do you get when you are doing anything of like that involves color, like do you
I actually use Adobe Color a lot.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed for people that contribute actively, like palettes on there or save their palettes on there, they're pretty good at putting tags and keywords. So you can actually think of some pretty random things and search on there and find what you're looking for. I'll fully admit, like I would definitely, on the scale of design experience, I'm probably closer to a beginner because I don't do it full time professionally.
Yeah.
But I find that's so helpful to go because you have these color palettes all pulled together. The one thing that I generally struggle with is when you're picking colors for fonts on screens.
Yeah.
They often sit outside that beautiful color palette.
Right.
You know, like you're like, oh, okay, I guess I need a gray or a black or something along that spectrum.
Right.
To support text. And that's where sometimes I trip up a bit. But it's
nice. Should we actually use Adobe?
Does anyone else have that problem? I don't know.
It's always deciding on colors is always a little challenging because you have like so many different options, but you're also thinking about the audience and what you're designing for. So it's a lot of decisions that you're also making.
You also tend to see, like when I think of the most popular, most frequently visited apps I use, the colors usually don't like sort of vary a whole lot. Like you have lots of blues, lots of like the color black. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I know there's a lot of blue. I mean, Instagram, when they changed up their logo to be super gradient like
purple and
I actually really dug it. It was obviously like a big change from their original logo.
It's a massive change.
Totally.
Before it was more brown.
It was like brown, white. It looked like an old Polaroid camera, kind of.
Yeah.
But like, if you could get a Polaroid camera that looked hipsterish, because it was brown with red buttons and things that no Polaroid camera actually ever looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what my gradients are.
Patricia was giving you props for your research-based approach to everything.
Oh, yeah,
It's true, though, right?
Yeah,
that's very clear.
It's, the amount of research that goes in before. You want to be as informed as you can be before you actually even start sketching out on your, notepads and then translating that into digital. It's always good that you have some sort of like a foundational way of how you approach things. So research is good, you guys.
Nice. Chat and win is in 12 minutes. 12 minutes, folks. So get your comments and questions in the chat for your chance to win this lovely XD stencil kit. I actually worked on developing this. This is a little labor of love for me. It comes complete with, like, I wonder if we can get some camera love on this. We have the stencil kit. It comes with this grid note paper. These are the cool parts. So there's the stencils. So they're this for creating like wireframes. Oh, it's metal.
Oh wow, you guys.
Only the finest stencils for our fans. And I'll just slip this under here for a second. We'll get real close up here. So got the stencils. You can see there's lots of like handy icons, just in case you forgot. It's
that's so great.
XD right there.
Ooh.
So pretty cool. And then the fun part is we made these pencils that have these fun little sayings. I don't know if you can see that. It says wireframe. Oh, maybe it's upside down. It's upside down. Wireframe like it's 1982. And then the next one is iterate, 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 and fail faster is the last one. It's kind of cool. So, fun pencils you can show off to your friends. Make sure you jump in the chat and participate, and you could win this fancy little pack. Fits
It's
in the
so
backpack
great.
perfectly.
Yeah.
So you can
So
take it on an
it's not-
airplane.
yeah.
Get struck by inspiration. You're ready to go. I actually use this when I do sketches. Mostly the screen square one is actually weirdly helpful. It's
really?
Like, you'd think it's like the simplest thing to just sketch out, but if you're a bit of a perfectionist like myself, you really appreciate
you want to get those straight lines in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
You guys, this is a really great thing to win. You should just.
All right.
Cool.
So back to making this gradient.
Okay.
So you've put a bunch of colors down. Do you normally start by like creating these squares?
Yeah, it's just like whatever my mouse sort of like grabs first. But yeah, I do go get in a shape and then sort of make a shape because these are more just getting those colors in and trying to refine those colors as well. So even when you start picking colors, say even if you have like an inspiration photograph, another way of also deriving colors is that for instance, you can take a photograph and then start picking colors from the photograph, and then you have already a visual language that's going on because the photograph has like various many colors as well. So that's another approach to how we could get colors.
We also got a shout out to Adobe Capture because Adobe Capture allows you to use your phone, and you can launch the app and hover over an image or really anything, and it starts to identify colors, and you can build your palettes off like real world things.
Yeah.
So if you had an
really
image, you could definitely do it that way.
Cool.
Awesome.
Let's just modify.
Welcome, Urwa. Glad to have you for your first Adobe Live. Sarah is working away, showing us her gradient magic here.
All right, so we're gonna click on it.
So you've got a square.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to the fill section on the right side, on the right panel. And then there are different options where you could do linear gradient, radial gradient, whatever you guys prefer. And then it comes with a sort of like an already preset template. So it goes from dark gray to white, but we don't want that. So we're gonna click on one endpoint and then use the color picker and then grab a color. And then you already see with how it kind of overlays on the preset template. So if we want to go add another point of, we're gonna add yellow.
I like where
there.
this is going. This is starting to look like a Shirley Temple. You know that
the drink, right?
Yeah, the non-alcoholic
Yeah.
beverage. Is like if you wanted to feel like you were drinking a cocktail as a kid, you'd get a Shirley Temple. I don't know if you guys did that. I definitely did.
We're gonna go say add another color. These are random.
I think someone's
colors.
hearing some of the background noise here. No, there's no trains going by. Although we are near a train station.
Oh, that is
I think
true.
someone was
Caltrain.
Caltrain. Yeah. I think someone was just moving something heavy like above us or something. I don't know. We're all good here though. No trains coming through.
Oh, Lala says that she's taking the swag with her to Vietnam later this summer.
Nice.
Oh, good job.
Very cool. Oh, Arturo, Shirley Temple or Arnold Palmer. I always call that like an Arnie.
Arnie.
Just an Arnie. Little iced tea lemonade action.
Oh.
So refreshing.
And then we can also use the, what do we call this panel? The color palette.
The color picker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can also change according to our preference or where we're picking inspiration from. And then we can add also a lot more points. So, you know, it can be as defined or it can be as abrupt, like however you want to do your
could create a whole freaking rainbow on there. I mean, you have the side is the ultimate gradient, right? And the color picker. Don't get too crazy though.
We're just gonna add some. So yeah, this is just a sample. Obviously, it's not refined, but to show you guys, you know, how we could go in and develop a gradient. I think it will be a good start for someone who's also trying to learn the gradient tool on XD or Photoshop or Illustrator to be able to, you know, look for source of inspiration and then start taking colors in from.
This is like me getting a progressive sunburn. This is really what's up.
Cool. So that's just one sample, but let me know, you guys, if you wanted to, you know, if you had any more questions on color. But we're gonna get started.
That's cool. Also, Arturo was like, it went from Shirley Temple to Tequila Sunrise. Same colors.
Yeah.
So good. How long have you been playing around in XD?
For about, I think, a few months now.
A few months,
yeah.
Got it.
So I'm still like trying to learn my shortcuts, like the keyboard shortcuts. But yeah.
How was it like getting in there for the first time, starting to play around?
It's pretty simple. I think with XD, because I am a Photoshop and Illustrator user, XD, there was no learning curve at all, or a steep learning curve, because you already know your controls, you know the software, you know it's structured in certain way. So it's pretty easy to get in and just like create, you know, preset wireframes or stuff like that and change it, as opposed to, I don't think, you know, another way is also going and looking at tutorials, but it was pretty simple for me to get in there and start designing because I was already familiar with Photoshop and Illustrator, which are great tools as well. So yeah.
What would you say like the biggest difference between going from Photoshop and Illustrator to a tool like XD?
I don't think there's very many. So with Photoshop and Illustrator, there's so many sort of like defined tools. You have like a lot of, you know, effects and various things. With XD, it's more about people who are trying to get an idea or like get, you know, some sort of prototyping out really quick and having those defined things. So it's very easy to go set it up and you know, it's efficient as well. So
it's pretty purpose driven.
It is.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, let's go create this real quick.
If you found, we have one more question from Arturo. So what has been the biggest challenge from going from XD versus Illustrator?
Oh, going backwards? So from XD to Illustrator?
It sounds like, what's the biggest challenge for you in the XD versus the Illustrator flow? So like you were using Illustrator, but now you're using XD. Like what has been the biggest pain point between the two?
I don't think, so with Illustrator, you're going in and you're creating artboards. One of the things with when you use XD is that you already have preset artboards and you know what you're going to create, and then the setup is a little different. So we have layers on the right side and the panels are a little different, but here the orientation is, you know, it's swapped, if you will. But it's pretty great. It's main pain point. I don't think I so far have any pain point.
Actually, that's the best answer. I swear I didn't tell her to say that. No, that's awesome.
I really don't, because like I mentioned before, since I'm pretty familiar with you know, Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator, the learning curve is minimal, but it's also a new software, so you are still trying to orient yourself with, you know, where are the tools at. So in terms, it's not a dramatic learning curve. You can learn it pretty quickly, but you're still like familiarizing yourself with, okay, this is where, you know, the layers are set and this is where the tools are. But it's so easy, you guys. You should like really try it out. It's super easy. Yeah. So
go download it for free. Push around. Are you using XD to design icons and things, or are you still finding yourself playing in Illustrator for that?
For that, I do go back to Illustrator because for me, I think it's easier, or maybe I know it already, or the software, so it's easier to jump into Illustrator and start creating, you know, the icons. Versus I love using XD for wireframing and like getting things out, and especially when you are sort of short, like you have short deadlines, you're trying to communicate a certain interaction with a stakeholder or engineering team or dev team, it's very easy to get on it and then kind of like move them from, you know, X to Y, and then being able to translate that, you know, what is your idea, what is the concept. So yeah.
Yeah. Chat to win in 20 seconds, guys. Get your comments in ASAP. I've seen some questions come through. We will answer them, but please jump into chat for your chance to win this beautiful stencil kit. Labor of love right here.
You guys, yes.
A
great price.
So, what software are you using to animate prototype your UI design? So we actually have prototyping features in Adobe XD,
which is so great.
And we're gonna touch upon that later in today's stream. And then, what about Dreamweaver? Can you import HTML, CSS? There is actually no clean integration between the two products right now, but I mean, we're Adobe. One of the things, you know, like the sort of foundation of what we do is based on the cloud. So look in the future. Also, if you want to, if that's a workflow you're interested in seeing happen, jump on over to User Voice. That's adobeXD.uservoice.com. You can go there and log feature requests, upvote existing feature requests, and track feature progress. So go ahead and do that. Oh, it's time! Yay! Jazz hands! Woo! Chat.
I always love the jazz hands.
We're about to do a giveaway. I know it. We have this kit. Woo. All right, it's going to be another minute or so before we announce the winner of this, but that was exciting.
Yeah.
I always love firework videos.
I love it. It's like a lot of like energy.
It's really good. You gotta. Also, we got to do jazz hands for
I
like
know.
a good
we didn't do our drum roll.
I know. Well, we haven't announced the winner yet.
Yeah,
the drum
we'll
roll will come before the name.
Oh, Urba has a question. Can you create parallax effect on the same page on XD?
So there's no parallax effect quite yet. You can do fixed elements, and
which is great.
Prototyping features are being prototyping is a huge focus for XD this year. So stay tuned for more updates related to that. And if, again, anything you want to see, jump on over to User Voice and put your word in. You might as well have an impact on the design tool you'll be using. Help shape it. we did not do enough of the pew 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 when the fireworks came up. We'll have to do that later. Okay, Are you ready? I'm gonna drum roll you. And the winner is
Zambarine Saeed.
Congratulations! You are now the proud owner of a beautiful XD stencil kit. What?
Such a great price, Zambarine. You're gonna love it.
We will get in touch with you to collect your details and get that out to you in the mail. Woo-hoo.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that was a lot of wooing. I'm impressed with us. Okay.
All right.
We have been distracted for far too long. We have work to do, people. Come on. Stop being so entertaining.
We're going to go and color this.
All right. I feel like I missed questions. If I didn't answer your question, feel free to drop it back in chat. I will do my best to make sure I pay attention this next round. You guys are so active. I love it. So good.
Okay, so I'm going to go quickly.
So you just did some repeat grid wonderfulness there.
Yeah.
We talked about this yesterday, but one of the things you can do is if you have a text file with a bunch of copy, like a list of things saved in a text file on its own, you can take that file and drop it over fields and it'll automatically fill them in. But we do like watching you do this, so we'll see. We'll get all of the seafood classifications down pat.
Yeah, I think one of the thing was that it's notes file, like the notes things.
It's like, it's not like a .txt. Yeah. That's what you need, but that's okay. We'll see. We'll watch all the seafood things. I love seafood. Do you guys love seafood?
Yeah, you guys, let us know what kind of seafood you like too. Curious to know.
We can get crab and all the stuff. The UI kits, the UI stencil kits are not available for sale. They are they're like a limited edition XD item. So we're breaking down. So this is this is like basically like where you would go to find individual recipes by ingredient.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
So we're just gonna put some places.
People are into the mussels and salmon.
Ooh.
Got some seafood lovers. Get some good seafood in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Down by the bay.
So good. Even by the Ferry Building, I think there's like good restaurants there too.
Yeah, the Ferry Building's great down at Pier, I guess it's Pier 1.
Pier 1. There's so many piers.
The Ferry Building here in San Francisco is great. There's lots of different restaurants and little shops and things. I take, I live in the East Bay, so I'll often take the ferry over on the weekends and things like that. It's the most luxurious way to go from the East Bay into the city, in my opinion anyways. You get a seat and it doesn't smell, so.
We're just gonna go add color.
Ooh, yes, you can get good seafood in Boston as well. It seems like we're getting some recos. I've eaten seafood in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good seafood. I'm not sure I remember the name of any of the places I ate, but...
Seafood. I've never actually been to Boston. I should go.
Boston's a great little city. I don't know if it's even little, but it's a great city.
It's probably as big as San Francisco.
I have no idea. San Francisco is, I think, just under 900,000 population-wise. It's pretty dense.
Really?
It's small, like it's 7 miles by 7 miles in size.
No, yeah.
Tiny.
You can walk across, yeah.
It's tiny, like all things considered. It feels so iconic, so it's like feels much bigger. You know, you see it in movies and things, but it's actually quite, geographically, quite a small spot.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You can walk from like one end to another end in a day. I'd assume.
Oh, way less than a day.
Oh, okay.
Like one end, 7 miles. The average person walks like 3 miles an hour. So you can walk across it in a few hours, a couple hours.
Yeah.
I mean, see, the crazy thing is you could definitely walk across San Francisco faster than you could drive across San Francisco.
That's true, because of the traffic.
And, like, it's really dense.
Yeah.
We're a landlocked city, and I think because it's I don't know if it's because it's an older city and because of earthquakes and things, there aren't a ton of high-rises. Like, for a city like San Francisco, there's some high-rises down in the financial district, but it's not crazy.
All right, let's go add some.
Joha, you should totally start learning Adobe XD. We have a ton of resources on our website. So if you go to adobe.ly/XD, you can find some tutorials there. If you follow us on Twitter at Adobe XD, we post tutorials on there as well. You can find tutorials on our YouTube channel at Adobe Creative Cloud. Yeah.
It's pretty easy. So easy.
There are lobster rolls at McDonald's in the summertime.
Wait,
in
what?
Maine. Wow. I mean, I guess.
did not know
well,
that.
like McDonald's, like it has like the local specialty items, like depending where you are in the world.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they would have lobster rolls.
I didn't know.
They have poutine at McDonald's in Canada, which is
really?
logical. Yeah. I haven't actually had it, to be fair.
You haven't had
No,
it?
I haven't had it because. I don't know. Don't get me wrong.
You're not a fan of poutine.
No, I am a fan of poutine at 2 a.m. on a fun night out, but there's a lot of specialty shops that I'm a bit of a snob. If I'm going to eat the deep fried gravy cheese curd stuff, you know, gotta go for the best.
Matthew's so
funny.
surprised. He's like, McDonald's and lobster?
Mm-hmm. Bertrand made the suggestion about in your app design in the future, we could look at incorporating a video. So videos on how to make recipes to make it easier for people. It's true.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah.
So this app design is a piece of a much larger app.
Yeah. So it's one section of a larger app. So the larger app that's actually live right now has, you know, a dashboard, a community section, a section where this is also part of this is more also it has a baby monitor, so we're tracking with the baby monitor like how the baby's doing. So you have it tracks heartbeat, and then it shows you the growth of the baby through 9 months.
Holy cow.
So it's a fully fleshed out app that's also out in the App Store, but this section is part of that larger app, so we're refining.
We should also caveat that the app that you're referring to, it's fully in Mandarin.
Yeah, it's fully in Mandarin.
This is, you know, you are redesigning this through a different language and cultural lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the challenges was that, you know, it's Mandarin, and how we, like, when we build content on English, like, for instance, if we have 4 lines of a English text, when you translate that to Mandarin, it becomes, you know, 10 lines. So you're trying to sort of work backwards and trying to figure out space, and that impacts the design. So being and especially for people like designers who are not familiar with a certain cultural language, it is challenging in a good way, as like how you're thinking about, you know, white space, or how you're also bucketing certain content, because we want to be cognizant of like content and visuals and how you want the user to consume that content as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So in 49 minutes, we're going to be doing portfolio reviews. You can look for a tab near the chat to find out more about how you can submit your portfolio to get reviewed. Sarah and I will be putting on our best, our finest hats, which you'll see. Yeah, we do choose our favorite portfolio.
Woohoo. Has anybody submitted any cool logos for the app?
Just trying to see here. Oh, also forgive me. We show portfolios. Nobody wins anything for the portfolio review. I'm a terrible host.
So they don't win anything.
No,
okay.
But you're gonna have your portfolio on stream, and we are gonna give you our thoughts, opinions, and things like that. So submit. A couple will be selected. I don't think we're gonna have time to go through them all, but we will definitely look at a couple. So be sure to send yours through. Do you want to look at logos?
Yeah, I think it'll be great
to flip over to my screen and see.
And then we can start putting it in our Nama app, which I'm excited about.
So we had these. Oh, I love that. Was like an interesting twist on the silent K.
Yeah.
Nama. It's good. We got
That's
some
pretty
soft
cool.
gradients. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. A whale of a tail.
Nama.
I love the font choice here. I think that's like that really soft sort of.
Yeah, it's more, also it's welcoming, like how the edges are round as well.
The baby whale. That's really cute.
These are great. Oh, I love how they have the style guide in there.
Yeah,
Very
this is
detailed.
really well thought out.
This is really good.
It's also kind of cute that the font's called Baloo. It just it sounds like it's like a whale.
It sounds
font.
like a whale name too. Yeah.
I'm probably thinking of like Baby Beluga. Do you guys remember that?
I don't remember what
Baby Beluga in the deep blue sea.
Oh,
no, okay. Wow, this is officially every time I go into Adobe Live, somehow I sing, and I really that's not me. So, okay. Well, anyways, yeah. Anybody, Baby Beluga?
Anybody, you guys?
Do you guys remember this? This is really cute. Anyway.
Cool.
Very cool. So we have a few options. Actually, why don't we switch back to your screen for a second? And I think I can pull up one more. I just got to do a little digging for it.
I'm going to work away here. We're going to add.
I'm gonna actually pull up. We have 2 more logo submissions going on here from folks to look at. Looks like Jeremy just sent one through. Just give me one sec. Got sushi in there. Tuna's a go. Blue crab is a no-go. That's a bummer. Swordfish, crayfish.
Yeah, I didn't know those certain fishes are not good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the mercury content.
Yeah.
I think that's what we kind of figured out before. Let's see what we got here. We got a cool logo suggestion from Jeremy.
Ooh.
One sec. Let's see what I can pull up here to share the group. Oh, so Jeremy did us a solid and switched up the spelling on this. So if we want to flip to my screen quick, yeah. So we've got the double M.
Oh, nice.
In the whale treatment.
Ooh, I like it.
Just gonna minimize this one. This was another one that was submitted. I think this was submitted on day 1.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, this was another good one too.
Cool. Should we just incorporate one of it?
Yeah, you let me know, Miss Designer.
I actually really liked, I think Jeremy's Nama.
The whale one?
Yeah, like the the whale one.
All right.
That was cool, but I think I like the typeface in here, and I'm not sure whether whale would be good branding for the pregnancy app.
You're thinking like maybe the pregnant mama might be a little sensitive to the association.
Could be.
That's possible. I mean, it is pretty cute.
It is so cute, but I really want to incorporate that.
This is the double.
Oh, this one too.
You also have this as well.
This is actually a mom holding a baby. The more I look at it.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
That's totally what it is, yeah.
That was a cool one.
And so we have,
and then we have this one too. Cool. I think what we're gonna do is we're going to incorporate maybe this logo and Jeremy's Nama typeface and see how that works.
Okay.
So,
okay. We'll mix it up. Okay.
Different
awesome.
People contributing.
So, I think we'll switch over to your screen now. I'll get those files over to you.
Yeah.
Get those moving. Got a couple of cool things here. It's nice that you guys are being so great and contributing to this design. It's really fantastic. We're lucky to have such an engaged audience.
I know. It's so great too. So we're going to go film.
All right. I have emailed over those files to you. But we can switch over to something. Maybe we can go back to my screen for a minute if you want to retrieve them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can check out. We've got this logo. I think the plan here was to go in and pull in some of the copy from the whale logo and incorporate that in somehow. So we're gonna have like the lettering from the whale concept plus the logo. So that should be great. And we're gonna probably do some of that layout in Illustrator. We've got the 2 files that we'll pull in from there.
Yeah.
Earl had a question around what kind of grid system that you're using in XD.
Let's pull it up. So let's see, we'll show. Usually it depends how many grids you want to use, but typically I like to use anywhere between 6, but it depends how much of spacing or how much content is there, and then you kind of go in and modify it accordingly, so you have like white space to make certain content elevate or pop a little bit. But here we're using about 8 column grid, so that's that. Let's see if we can pull up.
There is a question around the Pathfinder tool in XD. So there is a you can edit shapes in XD because they are vector elements that you're able to grab. It's, you know, just like you would deal with a vector icon within a group. You just double click on it and then you can tweak it.
I don't understand why I cannot just. Oh.
Yeah, no, you can. You can totally use XD to build assets completely.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there's a couple of things. One, you can use XD pretty much to do everything you want. Some people, when it comes to detailed vector work or bitmap editing, they prefer Illustrator or Photoshop for those, like we talked about before. They have a lot more features for those specific activities. Also with Creative Cloud integration, you can edit those assets, drop it into your library folder, and open it directly in XD, which I think we can do. Are you just gonna pull these icons in and mess with them in XD?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just not. We're just using Illustrator as kind of like a medium here. It's great.
So let's do this.
We're doing a little logo combo.
Real quick. We're going to do 2 of this.
So one of the pieces of feedback was that maybe the logo holding the mom speaks more to a new mom versus a expecting mother.
Yeah.
But you know, the way she's kind of cradling the baby, I think it's abstract enough that I think we're cool there.
Let's see how. One of the other things.
Also, Alexandra, if you have other logo designs you want to send our way, we're still, you know, we're laying this out. But
yeah, did Alexander send it? One of it? Or?
Alexandra was saying that the holding baby
I see.
was
Okay.
like new, but we're also open to others.
Yeah,
please send it. So Lindsay was asking about creating a website in XD and sort of what the next step is. You actually can't export any HTML from XD, but you can get the CSS properties. When you go to click on, I'm gonna get you to hover on the share button in the top corner of XD for a minute. Even if you click on it, you can see you can publish design specs or a prototype. When you publish design specs, you actually wind up getting a link that you can send to a developer, and it gives them all the information they would need to build out your design into a functioning website or mobile app. I think that, oh geez, some of this chat is pretty funny.
What's happening?
Oh, that's all right. We'll just keep focusing on the design at hand. Too good. So for the Mitzi's question was around designing. Do you design for the web and mobile in the same file? You could totally do that. You can create 2 sections, or you can lay out all your artboards for mobile in one space and web on the other. You can completely work within the same file. The canvas size is actually quite large on XD. I think we ran a test where you can have up to 1,500 artboards in one XD file, and the performance is still killer. So there's plenty of room to do that. It really depends on how you want to work. If there's really big differences between mobile and web, which theoretically there shouldn't be, but if there are, because you never know, everything's different, you may want to choose to create 2 separate files just so the design specs are delivered separately and that kind of thing. Arturo, I love that comment. Amongst artists, almost anything goes. It's so true, right? So great. This gradient, man, it delivers so good.
Let's see if we can make this.
We're gonna make our solid white or get that high contrast. That looks good. thanks again to you guys for contributing.
Yeah.
Well, we are doing portfolio reviews, so if you want to send a link over to your portfolio, those are the kinds of things we're looking at today. There's instructions on how to do that near the chat. It says portfolio review. Read about that there. This is looking really good.
I'm so excited for this.
"35 minutes. Wow, today's stream is flying by.
Wow, we have only 35 minutes left.
Probably a little bit more than that. we have some portfolio reviews to do, so we want to make sure we save time for that. Are we looking at the whale version as well? And seeing?
Let's see. I'm curious to know
See how this looks.
Yeah.
What do you think about this little dot here, this little white dot beside the whale? Do you think that's intentional?
I think so. I think also it's
almost like a splash.
Bubble.
A bubble?
Maybe. The whales are breathing.
So this is a mobile design. We're doing iOS specifically. That's the artboard size we chose. And there's a ton of UI kits available for Adobe XD, including ones for iOS. So some of the elements you see across the top of the artboards, those are all pulled from that UI kit. To access UI kits, you can just go to the File button and then get UI kits, and then there's some options there, including some of the ones you'd be most familiar with. There's also the wires UI kit, which Sarah leveraged throughout her design, and you can barely tell they're there now because you've gone in and switched up the colors and really made it your own. But it really helped quickly get this app to a place where, you know, we had all of these elements really built out, and it was just a matter of like tweaking, so you can really get a design going quite quickly.
Yeah, which is so great. And it's like it helps, especially if you're constrained for time. It's very easy to go and sort of look through. I think the wires are also sectioned up really nicely, where you have signups and checkout flows and so many different elements together. So it's really great, especially if you're running against time and you want to get ideas across and like quickly prototype and put it in front of people and see, you want to test it out. So,
and there's icons and all sorts of things.
So great.
We've actually released quite a bit, and I've been talking about this the last few days. So for those who have heard me say this before, forgive me, but we've released a ton of different UI resources, from icon sets to full-blown UI kits by top designers in the community. We have one by Sarah Parmenter. She's known as @Sazzy on Twitter, and that's a travel UI kit done to material design specs. We have a Navigo UI kit, which is sort of like a travel-inspired transport app, tracking sort of like, say you were to order a car via an app and it showed up at your door. It'd be similar to that. There's a whole bunch of them. A dashboard UI kit, which is pretty useful.
So we got a bunch of...
I think people are into the font and the whale. What are you guys feeling on this logo?
Yeah, you guys should vote on it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what combo you're liking the best. We've got the Nama with the mom logo.
Let's go over. Yeah, Nama with the mom. This is one.
So that's option 1.
Got Nama with the whale.
Option 2.
And then this is just like trying to incorporate colors. Just
3.
Very clean.
Just the name. Just the name.
That's about it.
1, 2,
or
3. Nama with the mom for 1, 2 with the whale, 3 with just the logo. Let us know in the chat.
All right.
Photoshop is not recommended for mobile. I'm not sure what the question is there, but if you are wanting to edit photos on the fly, Lightroom Mobile is probably your best. You can download that app for free. Looking, the font name is Baloo Chetin. I think it's a Google font. All right. The typeface is cute. All right. I think people are into the whale.
Yeah.
The whale is winning.
Let's see. Let's look over this real quick.
So 1, 2, or 3.
1. This is option 2 with the whale. And option
I think someone
3.
was asking, is Illustrator or Photoshop better? I think it really depends on what you're trying to do. They're totally different tools.
And it depends also what you prefer. Yeah, it's very subjective.
Yeah. Okay. We got Lindsay, my namesake, or my name twin. She says number 3. She likes just the type, but number 2 is the second choice. We got, okay, so I'm seeing a mixed bag where, it's really a toss-up between, I think we could probably comfortably lose the first one, the first option.
I think a lot of people,
the whale is coming through in number 3. It's really the whale in the text or just the text.
okay, option 2. A lot of people like option 2. Let's incorporate that.
Although people are also, that is cute. That is cute. Okay. Yeah, the whale in text is probably the win. Although I think people were saying they'd like to see the text in white, just the text in white.
Let's get to that.
Oh, but the icon. I think the icon is sealing the deal for people here.
This one?
Yeah. I mean, that's a winner right there.
Everybody likes it.
That is a winner.
What was that one? So they wanted, let's see, in white?
Yeah. Look at this, naming the artboards. This is very smart. Okay, yeah, 2's the winner. Winner. Chicken dinner. You're catching on to all my ridiculous sayings. Yeah, churro. He knows what we're saying.
Cool.
Okay.
Is number 2 the winner?
I think so. There's a suggestion of an off-white, but you've been kind of using white, like proper solid white throughout at this point. The the f.
I need to remember my hex codes.
Gotta get those hex values.
Cool.
The easiest ones to remember. But I think if you worked on a brand for any period of time, you start to memorize the hex codes associated with it, especially if you are like me and had to do a lot of HTML based emails back in the day. And you had to like really get in there and smush the code a little bit.
After a point, you're just like talking codes, like hex codes. Like, hey, what about that EFDC?
Yeah, well, with Nama looking great. I mean, that is cute too. You know, we are.
It's a tough
so many
choice.
good options to play with here.
Me too.
You guys have 26 minutes to get your portfolio links in.
God. All right, let's go finish this up real quick.
We're just putting in extra labels, and this is on a recipe card. It says what's going on. Do you set up icons for all your designs in app prototyping?
Setup, which means we're creating.
Yeah, question about that, Arturo. Can you clarify a little bit? Do you mean like does she create icons for all?
Yeah, is
designs.
Are they asking me whether I create like?
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there. Standard size for an icon. Oh, I think that depends on app guidelines. Do you have that memorized?
No,
yeah,
no. My mind.
You'll probably want to Google that because it probably varies for Android and
iOS.
And iOS. here. Make the food white, not red. I'm not sure.
The food?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There was no food though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's take a look at it. Oh, you know what? I think they're talking about.
Oh, the dot.
That.
Oh, they think it's food.
Oh,
we thought it was a bubble. Like an air bubble.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about this dot, honestly. What do you think? What do you guys
think?
Keep the dot, lose the dot.
Should we make
Is it a bubble? Is it food?
Yeah.
Maybe it's food because it's like
That's
Nama.
true, yeah. Food. That could be
Does
it
it?
too. Make that bigger.
What is that? What is it that the whales eat? Is it not krill? Kelp? What's? Oh my gosh, my brain is totally failing me.
Let's make
this is embarrassing, guys. It's kelp, right?
I have no idea.
Come on, someone help me in chat, please. Internet, save me. It was food. It's food. It's designed to be food.
It's food.
Yes, Jeremy has confirmed it is food.
I'm gonna make that a little.
It's like a little biscuit, a little whale biscuit.
Whale biscuit. Do you guys want me to have
krill? Yes, confirmed. Plankton?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Plankton? Kelp? Krill? Maybe they eat a combination of all of it. Pinocchio.
Oh.
I think I'm just getting trolled now. What do whales eat? Okay, so turns out gray whales eat very little while on migration.
Oh, really? They're probably sleeping all the time, are they?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. So, aquatic life forms such as fish, shrimp, larvae, plankton, crabs, krill. Yes.
Krill. So it's krill.
Krill. Krill.
Learn something new.
Yeah, it is krill. And squid, but they eat other stuff. It probably depends. Can a whale eat a human being?
I think.
Apparently.
Yeah,
well,
the
killer whales.
Yeah. I was just gonna say.
It's like, makes me think of, since we've got this trend of old school movie shout outs, like Free Willy.
Oh my god.
Such a classic.
Such a great
tearjerker.
Oh.
That soundtrack, yo. So good.
We're sinking today.
I know, right? I think maybe this is what happens after 3 days of streaming. We're becoming one. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mess with the whales.
Yeah. But they're good, like they're like black and white.
But also
like
save the ocean. So many mixed messages. 22 minutes. Whales like coconut milk? I don't believe that. Okay, first of all, how do they get the coconut? Yeah. Second of all, how do they open them with no hands? I guess. And also they have like brush teeth, don't they? Except killer whales look scary. I think they actually have.
Yeah,
I think I'm thinking of like a certain type of whale.
What are brush teeth?
They look like
just
like a brush,
like sharp.
It looks like a broom almost. Oh wow, this is great.
I love Lindsay's description.
I know, right? The brush teeth. Really, you can tell that this is my area. I have a deep well of knowledge when it comes to whales. All I know is they love hit songs by Michael Jackson. That's
right, yeah.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, they don't filter the food. And I guess if you're just like taking in big gulps of the ocean, you're going to get all sorts of stuff.
Wait, but somebody said they drink coconut milk.
Yeah, I know, but that's not true.
You guys.
I guess like coconuts roll into the ocean maybe. I mean, palm trees and things like that are close to the ocean, so I don't know. I think there was some feedback around the salmon colored gradient scheme. I mean, I'll throw it out there that while it may not make you think of nutrition, you literally called it salmon
gradient color. Yeah.
Which is like a very healthy fish full of lots of omega oils. And whales aren't even really blue.
Wait, so they're dark gray though, right?
They're all sorts of colors.
Oh, that's true. And there's so many different types.
Also art. Adobe Live's new segment, Whale Facts. Brought to you by Wikipedia. And
I thought we should start
Yahoo Answers. That's how you know it's factual.
Yeah. Fact check that.
So good. Whaling with Sarah. That's almost like it sounds like sadder than it intends like to be.
Aw.
Because like whaling could be like crying. Whaling could be like hunting, which I'm not into. That scene. I don't know. Whaling could be like me singing. Like maybe that was to describe that like me singing the Baby Beluga song. Baby Beluga was a hit. Yeah, it's by Raffi. Maybe this is a weird Canadian thing that sometimes I encounter.
Was it back in the 90s or?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a cute.
1980.
Oh.
Man. I mean, that's older than me, but still. Baby Beluga and the deep blue sea. Swim so wild and you swim so free. It's really cute, actually. You guys should look it up and rock out to it.
Christian says they suck water in through their teeth.
With the krill.
Oh.
The brush teeth.
The brush. Broom brush. What'd you say?
Broom. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, Yahoo Answers still exists. It's very entertaining. It's very entertaining. Like, I think Yahoo Answers is, to me, the same thing as Amazon reviews these days. If you just want, like, really ridiculous content that can be endlessly entertained and question the intelligence of just society in general. It's a good place to spend your time. It's not a good place to spend your time. You should be learning XD.
Let's see if we can
grab. Zambrine used to search her homework questions on Yahoo Answers.
Oh my God, really?
Too funny.
It's a great way to...
Yeah.
Let's just wait.
Alexandra has a great question. So there's a lot of research that goes into getting to the design part. So how long on average do you spend going from concept to production?
It really, really depends. It's usually based on, how much time we have, what the deadlines are, how, involved the stakeholder is, how fast you want to get out of the door. And a lot of it is like timeline based. But I think, a good practice or a good sort of system to follow is like at least have like a week or 2 weeks of research where you're actually figuring out what the pain point is, what the problem is, and you're also talking to a lot of people. And also one of the things is that it's also good for designers, UX, UI designers, to participate in like research, when there's strategic designers as well. You pair up with them and understand, because it's not just also creating the app and the user experience, but it's a holistic thing. So I think I derailed a little bit. So there was a question, how long it takes. So it really depends. It comes down to, the budget or the stakeholder involved and
the scale of the problem.
And the scale of the problem as well. Because like with this app that we created or product that we created, it took about we had a lot of reviews and a lot of sessions, so it took about a year of research. And again, it comes down to involvement of the stakeholder, the timeline, whether it's a rough concept and just get it out there and then test it, or do we want it to have like a fully fledged product / company. And then we also worked in a lot of stages. So it can take anywhere between, a year to 2 years. based on a lot of different factors. There's no
doesn't always end either, right? Because even when you deploy an app, you're going to gain insights from your users, and you're going to continue to iterate based on that. I mean, even thinking about the development of a product like Adobe XD, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, we're still talking to customers regularly. We're rolling out features every month. It doesn't mean we don't.
We're fine.
The research process hasn't really stopped, you know?
I feel like there's never really an end to research, or like, you know, the amount of we spoke about like iterating and refining. There's not really an end point, but you're always going to be, you know, for instance, you flush out an app and then you're going to putting it in front of the users. There's always going to be some sort of input that comes in. You're like, okay, look, let's try to incorporate that feature in. So there's always going to be an evolution of, you know, the app itself. So it's a lot of refining, a lot of research, a lot of things that actually factor into it.
So a good question from Raphael as a follow-up to that is, how do you know what the main problem is if in your research you find multiple problems?
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things that identifying the main problem is like talking to, say for instance, if your target audience is, you know, an insurance company, or, you know, the young people have, I don't know, they're bad at saving, right? For example, then you kind of like talk to a certain demographic and then identify what the demographic is or the target audience is, and then you hone in on that, and then set up like a lot of, you know, or like interview questions and like asking them what the problem is. And it's basically about also humanizing. So you want to be empathetic and be able to understand what the problem of, you know, the core problem is. And obviously the main problem is going to be subdivided into smaller problems, and in order to, that's why like brainstorming or mind mapping is really, really essential when we're actually identifying, because you are going to be at that session, you are going to be identifying what the larger problem is and what do you want to solve at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like inevitably you're going to find a whole bunch of problems, but honing in really on the priority problem and figuring that out is probably the best approach. The Noun Project got a nice shout out. So the Noun Project is fantastic for finding icons of all sizes. There are some that are Creative Commons license on there, which are free to use, but
there's also one more, I think, called Nucleo, which Heba actually used, and I've never used Nucleo before, but
Nucleo.
Yeah, you can download it onto, I think even Noun Project, you can download it as an app onto your desktop and then use it.
Awesome. Very cool. Do you find your clients always refer to you for research things? I think that's the question.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Why don't we follow up on that question?
Yeah.
On that one. "12 minutes till we get into portfolio review time."
I'm so excited to see
I'm excited
all
to see it.
portfolios.
See what happens. So in the whole design process, what would you say your favorite part is?
Oh my gosh. I love all of it. I think for me especially, it's very hard to disconnect in terms of like, I'm very curious about the research part of it and talking to people and being a part of that session, because a lot of the, you know, product design decisions are also derived from that. But I think for me is my favorite part is identifying the problem and then coming up with different ideas for the problem, because there's so many different ways that you can actually tackle it, and also to be cognizant of like how, if you're building a product, like how can we make it different and how we're going to disrupt, I suppose, like what's out there. You don't want to create what's already out there, but you want to derive inspiration and then create a different product, and that's why people come, you know, to your product to use your product. So I think for me it's research and identifying the problem and tackling the problem itself.
Nice. All right, so we are getting close to finalizing some of the design touches here, because we're gonna dive in and get some wiring up some screens in the prototyping mode soon. These are cute icons. Perfect for this purpose.
Again, these are just like to sort of put it in and then see it's not branded fully, because that's another level of like trying to aesthetically making sure like across the app to brand your icons as well with the thickness. But for this the exercise purpose, we're just grabbing it from Noun Project.
Makes sense. I think everybody can appreciate that this is a 3-day, 6-hour prototype, design and prototype, really. So things aren't going to be absolutely perfect, but rather conceptual. Although you've done a really amazing job. I'm amazed at how many details that we've been able to input in just the short period of time we've been working on this.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree? It's pretty great, right? Kudos to Sarah.
And also, I'm definitely gonna try to, after this, finish this app and maybe like do a prototype and also put it up.
Oh.
Just so everybody can see
where
the
we
work
got.
in progress. Yeah.
Should follow at Adobe XD. We'll be sure to promote it. Also, for those of you who missed, say, the earlier streams or are interested in going back and seeing the progress here, we do have these streams on demand. You can find them here on Behance Live, or you can head on over to youtube.com/Adobe Creative Cloud to see all of the live streams on demand at any time, really.
Is there a way to kind of grab all of these little parts?
So I think it just depends on how that icon is designed, right? So theoretically, like, you should be able to.
Because I think it was shift.
Can you just shift and hold?
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. Command. No. All right, that's fine. Because I know Illustrator controls are, I think, shift and...
Yeah, no, theoretically you should. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, for like any XD users, I'm trying to group all of these.
Yeah, the shift is not behaving for some reason. That's all right. Yeah, Lala, you have to pace yourself watching all the content on our YouTube channel. There's a ton of stuff in there. It's there's, not only do we have all the on-demand live content, but we have a bunch of tutorial videos for XD on there. And then just a ton of other stuff. We have the Make a Talk Show, Make It in a Minute tutorials.
Oh, wow.
All sorts of things.
Press shift.
Yeah, well, we were holding shift, but I think...
I think something's up with my computer, maybe.
I don't know. Just under 7 minutes until portfolio review time. I feel like everybody should tell us their favorite throwback movie.
Oh, yeah.
Since we've my favorite throwback. I mean, there's so many.
Oh, I liked, have you ever watched Mannequin on the Move?
No.
I forget the actor's name, but you guys, I can't remember, so please tell me if you remember the Mannequin on the Move. But it's like, was it Jamie Foxx? I can't remember, but it's about how this mannequin in a doll store at night comes alive.
Oh, that's totally today's special or tonight's. It was it's a kid show though. It's not a movie, right?
No, I think there was a movie.
No, okay, there was a kid show I think called Today's Special, and it was like a department store, and at night when the store closed, the mannequin came to life, and there was like a mouse and stuff. Yeah, it's Today's Special.
Oh gosh, is there a movie called Mannequin on the Move?
Maybe.
Maybe there's a movie.
This doesn't look familiar, does it?
No,
Today's Special.
I can't remember his name, but
It's too
It's
funny.
a great movie.
Okay, Mannequin on the Moon.
Yeah.
Mannequin on the Move is a thing. Oh, wow, yeah. This is so 80s. I love it.
Such a great movie.
Mannequin on the Move.
What is...
I wonder if I can pull up a big photo. Can we show this?
Wait, is that the... I don't think
No.
that's the...
Oh, that's the second one.
Yeah. it's
Mannequin
the
on the Move.
First
No?
one.
Okay. we're totally derailing from XD. Okay, we can go back. Cult classic films for sure.
Would you have a favorite movie, Lindsay?
I mean, I think I'm like, anything I want to say out loud on this live stream. Like Pretty Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty
Richard
Dancing.
Oh, my God. Grease.
Ghostbusters. Grease. Jurassic Park.
Oh,
also
yes.
a classic.
Jeff Goldblum was great.
Yeah, it's so good. Hold on to your butts. That's like I say that all the time.
Aww.
Especially when I'm driving crazy or something. Princess Bride, that's a good one. Goonies, The Big Lebowski. Wow, you guys know what's up. So funny. I think Ashley hooked us up with the link for Mannequin, the movie that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
So good. All right, 3 minutes and 50 seconds to get your portfolios in. Getting all these recipes looking stellar. Star Wars, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Yeah.
It's true. Dark Crystal, Big Trouble, Little China, Donnie Darko. Yeah, it's a classic.
Princess Bride. Oh,
The Little Rascals. Oh, so cute.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a kid movie. I love
That's
it.
different from the Rugrats, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Rugrats
Yeah.
was a cartoon. The Little Rascals
Yeah.
was like...
Oh, they're all like 8 or 9 little bratty little kids.
So cute. That's all right, Stephanie. We still appreciate you, even if you're not into the movies. Yeah, no, Star Wars has come up. Star Wars has come up. Oh, it was you. Well, you brought up Star Wars.
Wait, so Urwa says, I like the text in gray colors. Maybe you can apply similar to the headers.
Less black, like if you go up. I feel like the font colors is something I always struggle with because you want like the right amount of contrast, but
so
you also don't want it to clash with your other like softer pastel colors.
Yeah.
I think maybe what he means is that the header items like all the way up.
Oh.
Like the info bar basically.
Oh,
the
this
top.
guy.
No, further up.
Oh, these guys.
Is that it? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, is that what you mean, Urva? I'm not quite sure what you exactly mean, but...
Two minutes, still portfolio review time.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, one of the things is that, you know, colors change as we're also iterating and like refining not only the concept but also the branding. Like it's always changing, and by the time it's a elaborate process. So and then making sure that, you know, with the coincides with like the brand guidelines.
Need to put a little space in beside the numbers here. We're getting called out in chat.
You guys, I'm putting the content in.
Also remember, this is all just like, I don't want to call it placeholder because it's a bit more than placeholder, but really we're here to do a concept, not a perfect app. We're here to just show you how this is done. I'm sure there's spelling errors, little formatting tweaks. We're not seeking perfection, but rather just practice.
Let's go get that in so we're not called.
I know. I mean, if you want to watch Sarah do spaces and dots or periods, that's fine.
Stephanie's been multitasking.
As you should, Stephanie. We love it. We love that you're tuning in, but also getting stuff done. It's great. All right, it's almost portfolio review time.
Oh, 2, 1.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. All right. Get your portfolios in there. We'll be looking in just 1 minute. All right. This is looking really good. I feel like we can do some portfolio reviews, then we can zip back and we'll go ahead and start prototyping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this do you feel like it's in a good place?
I think we might have to tweak just a little bit, and then we should be able to prototype at the end of it. Or if not, I can always get it done and then put it up on Adobe's website. So
Sounds good. All right. I think it's time. High five. All right, I'm taking this thing off. Whoa, it's portfolio review time. We made it to space.
I'm gonna wear it, you guys.
You can wear it. You can wear it. I've got this like bun thing going on with my hair.
Big for my head.
Oh man, you know what? Like if you're gonna commit to the helmet game, I'm going back in, guys. Okay. All right. Pardon the echo. All right. So we've got 2 portfolios that we are gonna take a look at right now. So the first one is Kogalin Savanishyn. Also, it's Torontonian. Wow, look, my people are on here. Okay, cool. So we've got 2 projects on here. Why don't we go through both?
Yeah.
Also, I love that we've got one that this person's a student.
Okay.
Lots of views. We got this, you know, it's pretty built out. I do generally like when they put a little bit more in the About Me section.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks good though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the first piece. Oh wait, what am I doing?
Dota.
Hang on, let me just click on it.
Ooh.
Is this like a video game?
Whoa, that's cool. Dota to a modern multiplayer masterpiece. Yeah, it seems like a video game.
Looks like it.
Featured news. I love all the colors and the visuals that are popping.
Yeah, this is cool.
Prepare for battle.
Seriously.
Oh, so great.
It's very extensive too. Like I
Yeah.
love how
It's
detailed
pretty
it
detailed,
is.
yeah.
I would love, like, it would be great to see a bit more narrative throughout, like, what's going on here, like, what is this project, and like,
Yeah.
sort of a bit. It's always good to see context on what the site serves and things
Yeah.
like that.
I think like it's also perfect that it's a video game and then the color is black, but I'd love to see a little more kind of like the information popping up so it doesn't get fully dissolved into the background, but being able to build out modules where you have a little bit of contrast actually. This is great.
The character design is outstanding too.
my
I don't know if the designer did all that. That's also part of the reason why, like, it's great to get more context
Yeah.
throughout the project to really understand the role here, but very cool.
Is this like, oh, okay.
It's one very long
Yeah, I was going to ask,
project.
is it like multiple?
Oh, I always love the little animations. I love when they do that.
Oh, that's so great.
So good. Okay, let's see. Normally there's a little description at the bottom.
Let's see.
So a complete and very much needed overhaul redesign of the popular Dota 2 website, including the Dota 2 store and blog. Got it.
Dota.
Yeah, Behance did a bit of a redesign. So the description used to show up in the
On the
right
side
rail, but
panel.
now it's at the bottom. So it's like even more important to put context in
Yeah.
your designs.
So kind of like have a story so we could
Follow along.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, like this is great. A great example of like how it says like logo redesign.
Yeah. You're able to clearly like demark like every sort of. Oh, there's a brief in there.
Yeah, this is great. Creating a brief ain't easy.
Ooh.
Especially when your name is neither short nor common. This is me and my struggles are obviously very real. I love how personal this is.
I know. This is really great.
So beautiful. Oh, look at that. That's some great photography too, or just some amazing Photoshop
Shop skills.
Yeah, that's great.
I love the logo. It's so dynamic.
Well, and you can see it's like got the K and the S.
Yeah.
It's like very cool.
It's like clearly thought out.
Yeah, very well done. Oh, and there's
Ooh,
that little animated,
animation.
amazing. Very cool. This is very beautiful. Bravo, bravo.
Woohoo.
Okay, we're gonna go look at the second one. So this is Gregory. Wow, there's a lot to look at. So
Wow,
we can
I'm
choose like
interested.
a couple projects you want to hone in on.
Let's look at the mobile one.
This one?
Yeah.
The
what
home
is-
control concept app.
Yeah. What is?
All right, so this is nice that there's some context going on here
Yeah.
too. Like I said, I love that, especially in like UX UI design where you know like a lot of thinking has gone into the design work. Like I think it's awesome to have that context.
Yeah. I love the color that's going on.
Oh, and like when you think about too what this is for, controlling all the things.
Yeah. Is this like a financial?
It looks like it's actually the app is to handle like it looks like home things.
Oh, okay.
So it's like your hydro costs maybe or your electricity costs.
Oh, okay. Like a okay. I get it now.
So like your lighting and like what the estimated bill is. I think that's the way it is. It would be nice to have a bit more information. I mean, it says home control app, but
Yeah.
there's dollars tied to it. So
This is cool. Okay, can we hold on here?
Yeah.
Estimated bill, add funds.
so
Okay,
this looks like it's like
background,
the
office.
you can check out the working prototype.
Ooh.
This one, maybe I'm not clicking on the wrong thing.
There's
Yeah.
there's a link in there? No.
Well, you can embed XD prototypes into your Behance projects. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. Just you can do a quick Google and you'll learn how you can do that. So because you have embed code that you can put it anywhere. So yeah,
This is cool.
yeah. This is very cool. Do you want to look at one more here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Was there one that stood out to you? This food one looks kind of cool.
We can look at the food one.
Yeah. It says it's so good. That's the name. So I
have to
mean,
see
it's
them.
probably so good.
Fresh. It's called So Good.
So good.
Ooh. I like the typeface that's going on.
Oh, it's part of a web design master course by Joe Natoli. That's cool. I've spoken to Joe. Joe spoke at at a conference that
Oh.
I was at. Yeah, we have a video with him in it.
Oh, really?
For XD, yeah.
Fresh. Find out more. Food from the beginning. Eat healthy and nutritious food every day.
Wow, I'm sensing a trend here. The photos are beautiful.
Does it? Oh.
Oh, no, it looks like we just got this one screenshot.
it's like
It
a
would have been
landing
cool to see a
page.
little bit more on this project
Yeah.
because you can tell it goes on a little bit.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I love the font
I love
choice
the
here.
visual.
The visual looks great.
The color too. It's like refreshing. It's almost fresh, right? Yeah.
I would have liked to see a little more space between the navigation
Yeah.
at the top.
And kind of like demark like what the navigation is. It kind
Yeah.
of feels like it's floating, which is great, but it's great to see.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Gregory.
Ooh.
And thank you, Colin.
Koglan. We hope we're pronouncing your name right.
Yes. All right.
Cool.
Okay. I think it's time to come back down to earth. Oh. Whew, that was a smooth ride. All right. That was fun.
That was really fun.
How's our hair? It's okay. How's our hair, guys? Is it okay?
Are we looking
Okay.
like a mess?
All right.
Gus is
good. All right. We're good. All right. Why don't we flip back over to your screen? We're gonna make a few more tweaks to our design here, and then we're gonna jump into prototyping so you can wire this puppy up and see what it looks like. we're adding a little color in. Is that just to make these stand out a bit more?
Yeah.
That looks good.
They're getting lost a little bit, but
just a touch. There is a lot of white and a lot of text on there. The white is good though, because it makes the text super easy to read, right?
Yeah.
Those portfolios were great. It's always nice to look at other people's work, and I think that's part of the reason you guys are tuned in, really. Thanks again for everyone for sharing their portfolios with us. That was great.
Okay, I'm gonna go add in these guys.
There are a lot of skilled people that are tuning in and partaking today. I mean, they helped us with the logo.
I know.
We got the name from the community.
We got approval on the colors.
Yeah, I know. The votes on the colors is really helpful. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the app is like, you got a beautiful app on your hands here. People approve. Do you notice Sarah's use of the repeat grid there? So when you know you have like several repeating items, even when it comes to text like this, you can adjust the padding so you know that it's centered, and you can, while she can release the repeat grid and is able to edit each text instance, it just makes things so much faster for getting layouts done.
Lala's like, you made me hungry both days. Sorry, Lala.
So good. There is no horizontal scrolling in XD yet. If you want to head on over to user voice, you can go ahead and upvote that feature request, and you'll get notified of updates.
Also, I'm curious to know how many people use the trackpad for designing.
Yeah, how many people are trackpad designers? I think we've gotten a couple of comments on that over the last couple of days.
Do people prefer the mouse?
Mouse or trackpad, people? Mouse or trackpad? I guess it depends, because if you are operating off a desktop a lot of the time, then you're going to be using a mouse, but trackpad. Party House Berlin. Party House Berlin sounds like a lot of fun. How about stickers or no stickers on the laptop? I don't even know where this started. I was traditionally someone, I'm lying. I think I had one laptop in my life that didn't have stickers.
Oh, really?
But that was a period of time. Like when you get a computer, it's a couple years.
That's true.
So. Oh, Wacom. Rachel's on the Wacom, and so is Irwa. Makes sense. Greetings from San Francisco, Philip. Thanks for tuning in from Germany. Have you been to Party House Berlin? Do you know him? He sounds like a fun time. Or she sounds like a fun time. I don't know.
A lot of people actually use Wacom. Oh, that's good.
Party House Berlin, you are using the trackpad. Yeah, lots of Wacom. Where did I get the Adobe stickers? I've got friends here.
I'm trying to convince Lindsay to give me Adobe stickers.
Oh, I'll make sure that happens. 100%. I know some people. I'll bring them to dinner tonight.
Yeah,
for sure. It's true. There's some special editions on here.
Yeah. There's like the ones for the rock stars or something.
Mm-hmm. They came all the way from Germany, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. All right, with 10 minutes left, do you want to jump into prototyping? And we'll call the design almost complete.
Almost, yeah. It's still work in progress, but we could, for the sake
like
of
a true designer. Spoken like a true designer, for sure.
Let's adjust. Yeah, I think we should.
So for those of you encountering XD for the first time, you'll notice there's 2 tabs that you can go into. We've been playing in the design space, which is really, I think, where a lot of people spend the bulk of their time. But there's also the prototype tab. And the prototype tab is where you can go in and create transitions as well as wire up screens. So that's what brings sort of the real life app experience to life. Nicholas, the best tool is the one that you are most comfortable in and like the best. But you should try them all. Because otherwise, how will you know?
I'm gonna quickly change the name in here.
Noma Noma. Nama Nama.
Nama Nama.
It almost sounds like the Muppet sing.
Nama.
Wait, na-na-na. Manamana. It's Manamana is the...
Oh, it's Menomina?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the Muppets one. See, I sang again.
You should start singing in every segment now.
Oh, it's just happening. I can't even help myself. Nama Nama. Dun, 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 dun. It's Phenomena.
Gus finds us funny.
Yeah. Well, at least someone does. The problem with this live streaming thing is, like, obviously we have a couple of friends in the studio, if you will, but for the most part it's just us being goofy to the camera, so, you know. But I'm glad you guys are all singing along with me in the chat. That makes me so happy.
Oh, we're all singing Sesame.
Yeah, I guess I was originally on Sesame Street. Now it's like, it's in my head.
Nama Nama.
It's an earworm, if you will. Mana,
do you know the entire lyrics?
Oh, well, isn't that the whole lyrics?
Oh,
I
no.
Thought
There was like
no, there probably
more
is.
To it.
I don't know. I think we're gonna get some chat lyrics in the chat.
I like how Voodoo Val's like do 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 do.
Yeah, it's
full
so
lyrics.
Good. Yes, there we go. That's accurate. That's accurate. And you know that was pulled off like a lyric site too, right?
Yeah.
Manamana.
I can't do
do do do do. Manamana. Do do do.
Manamana.
Do 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 do. Manamana. There we go.
My side hustle is to become. Voodoo's crying. Oh, Voodoo, wow! Don't cry. Rinse and repeat. We're so productive today, you guys.
I hope you guys are all singing along at home or at work or wherever you are, confusing your colleagues around you.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to my desk after this and just be like, do, 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 do.
Oh, it's like stuck in my head now.
I know, it's burned. I mean, it could be worse because when I think of that sort of thing, it makes me smile, so. They are happy tears. Yes. Yes. We are back in the Wires UI kit. So the Wires UI kit has a couple of really great things. A whole bunch of elements, charts. You can see throughout here that you can use. And this is the one for mobile, but there's also one for tablet and desktop. Yeah. It's you can, again, download and use this for free. Just go to File, Get UI Kits, Wireframes.
Let's go add in here.
So good. All right. We have about 5 minutes left.
We're just going to assume this is...
Well, yeah, we'll pretend this is all done. It's honestly fine. It looks, the wireframes are awesome. Those, if you go to the Wires UI kit, anyone can download and use those for free. Weird Science, that's another throwback.
Oh. Mana was originally on Sesame Street.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
1969. That's
Whoa.
crazy. That's a real throwback. That's the throwest of the throwbacks.
Wow.
The way back playback. Do you find that you use wireframe kits a lot when you're wireframing, or do you go from scratch?
I actually usually go from scratch, but because I'd like to make sure all of the elements that we need is there. But one of the things is that when you're actually building, say, a profile page or something of that sort, you are going to derive a lot of information from a lot of different things. So in that case, I do go and use the wireframes and actually take pieces of it and then recreate it. But then if you're wanting to create something super quick to get the idea across, then I go use the pre-existing wireframes and then use it. But yeah, I'm curious to know like how many people actually build from scratch, or if you guys like use any wireframe kits. I'm always interested to know, so please write in the chat.
It is Throwback Thursday, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
As we got 70 called out, which is true. So it makes perfect sense that we're doing all these throwbacks.
We're in the... Oh, wow. People are... Manama was actually from Piero.
Oh, that's okay. We'll leave that comment alone.
Oh, I see.
So for Irwa, you can go and get the Wires wireframe kits, those blue ones we were showing for both mobile as well as desktop. So you can go and download those for free. You can access them right within Adobe XD, or you can search for them on Behance. You just Behance Wires UI kit for XD. All right.
Let's try some prototype.
It's the time to wire up. I'm loving this little whale icon, in case you guys didn't know.
All right, so let's do this. So,
oh, we are now in the prototype mode, so we're gonna wire there. So this is where it becomes really handy to go ahead and name your artboards, because when you're in this mode, you can see in the drop-down menus the target, and those list the artboard names. So if you can quickly wire up that way without having, say, to pull from one wire all the way across, especially when you get to, if you have something of 25 artboards and you're like way down on your canvas, you can set up a wire and target another artboard without having to like drag all the way across the screen. Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
So
let's just wire up a couple more frames and show it in action. You can set a transition as well.
Oh.
Grab that. There you go, the frame.
Left. And you can control like the duration as well, which is great. We're just gonna assume this is done.
So good. Best show ever is Rugrats Throwback Thursday. Hashtag TBT.
Hi, Sergey. Sergey. Probably pronouncing it wrong.
I think you got it.
All right, so I'm very excited to test the fixed elements. So how do we do that? We need to go back to...
That's in the design mode, and there's a little checkbox.
We're going to group all of that.
Yeah. So if we were to plan this out, what we probably would have done is design that top frame, created a symbol, and then set it as a fixed element. And then what you can do is if you have a bunch of artboards set up, you can select all those artboards and like copy and place. So all of a sudden you have this element, you can copy and paste it in the exact same place across all the artboards.
Yeah.
But I think that would be the natural thing once you get everything tweaked. But when you're in this design process, I think the way you did it made perfect sense.
So we're gonna select the thing and then fix position on the right side of the panel.
Okay, we're gonna hit a quick play and then we need to say goodbye.
Oh no, can't group that.
Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and quick play really quick.
Okay.
And we'll just see where we're at. So in the top right corner, we'll hit play. Oops. And that's okay. Yep. That's okay. So we'll hit play. And then if you hit your keyboard, then next, we'll just take a quick look. We did this great little app today. Yep. We got all sorts of screens. You can scroll down. There we go. That's all right. Anyways, thank you so much for 3 amazing days. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing all of your wonderful knowledge and beautiful designs. Thank you to you, the community, who helped bring this app together between the logo, the colors, the name, everything. Adobe Live we're streaming like pretty much every day, different things. Today's the last day of our 3-day event, but there is a stream dedicated to Adobe XD tomorrow at noon. Come on back. Otherwise, stay tuned for updates.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Mana, mana.
Mana.